Hey everybody, we are back once again at PopCon Louisville. This is the third day. This is Sunday, and I hope you guys have enjoyed our previous two videos covering Friday and Saturday each. If you haven't watched those yet, please go back and watch those and leave a comment and let us know what you thought about those videos. But today is Sunday, and sadly it's the last day of PopCon Louisville, and lots going on today. The secret games are happening today, and those are always fun. They had those for the first time last year, and I made it to the semi-finals. Actually, I made it to the finals, semi-finals last year, and almost came close to winning a lifetime badge to PopCon Indy, but maybe it could happen.
Came in like what, third place?
Came in like third or something like that, yeah. So we're gonna head inside to the Kentucky Expo Center here in Louisville and let you see what's going on here on Sunday. We'll see you guys. As soon as you come up the stairs here at PopCon Louisville to the second floor, you're greeted by this mysterious person, I guess, to tell you all about the secret games here at PopCon. And they're going to let you know, if you scan the QR code, how you can enter the secret games today. So, yeah, I think this is really, really cool. Let's get a little up close here, take a look at this little box. They were moving this thing around in like different positions all throughout the day yesterday. So like you come up here and it'd be kind of moved around. You're excited though, aren't you, to play them today?
I am, yeah.
Yeah,
it was one of my favorite features that they added, or activities that they added last year, and so I'm really excited to see what they do this year.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm also excited to see if they change it up at Indy PopCon.
Well, Indy's going to be a bigger one than this one today.
I know,
but yeah,
I'm
looking
saying,
forward
like,
to
the
it.
games and stuff. I'm going to see if they change it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be fun.
So let me know in the comments below, if you're watching this video, if you entered the secret games and maybe if you even won. So these are the secret games here at PopCon Louisville, and Raven and I. So tell them what game we just played.
We played left, right, center, which I'd never played before. And what's great about this is that it requires like no skill. It's just a game of like chance, because you just roll dice and you have chips. And long story short, that's the gist of it.
Yeah.
And so we both got eliminated this round.
Yeah, I think it's called left, right, center. Yeah.
Yeah, left, right, center.
Yeah. So they're playing left, right, center still, and
I want to get this game.
it's cheap. They said it was like really cheap, so yeah, we'll have to buy it. But yeah, these are the secret games. This is the second round, and they're still going. Man, that was a long game, wasn't it?
It really was.
Man, we played that for like ever. It felt like, yeah. And then we did Simon Says first.
We did Simon Says first.
Which they did that last year at PopCon too. Remember that?
I did forget about that. They did it on the stage last year.
Yeah.
At Indy.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah, which I liked better, because doing it in the seats was a little rough.
Yeah, right, yeah. But yeah, this is the secret games here at PopCon, so yeah.
All your fault.
So, last but not least,
Alice?
Alice.
Yeah.
Good old Alice.
Yeah.
I picked the baddest witch from Louisville, Kentucky, Jennifer Lawrence.
Really?
I picked Jennifer Lawrence as Alice.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. I could. Yeah.
I mean, she played Mystique and did really good.
Well.
Ish.
Yeah. She tried. She tried to play.
She's athletic.
Yeah. Hunger Games.
And she's like one of the hottest actors. Both ways.
Yeah.
Both ways.
I thought you said Dogface.
No, both
Frozen.
ways. The hottest actress. Like, she's raising the charts.
You don't know.
She could be here. I would lose my mind.
She's not.
I'd lose my poop.
Tyler.
Probably poop all over. Tyler, I hope you sit right here in this chair.
Yeah. Sit in that chair when you sit there, Tyler.
I'm keeping it so warm for you, baby.
It's musky. I have Daniela Melcher. She was the rat catcher in the James Gunn Suicide Squad.
I would have to Google that, because I don't remember what she looks like.
She had all the rats.
I know. I like the character.
Yeah.
She had all the nudies.
Yeah. She does a lot of action flicks.
Okay.
So.
I just remember her as like olive skin and dark hair. Like, I couldn't picture her being that.
Yeah, because makeup and costume and all that for that film. But yeah, if you saw her like how she naturally looks, she could pull it off.
She could pull it off?
I think so. Plus, she's really super talented, I think.
Oh yeah.
So, Yeah, I think so.
I like mine better.
Oh, you always like yours better.
The people like mine better too.
No, not everybody.
Do you like my list?
No.
This list.
No one's saying anything.
See, they're not. No one's not.
No one's paying attention to you. They're not watching you.
You do know we're only like 15 minutes into this, right?
Yeah.
We rushed through it.
Yeah, we always do.
I know we do.
Now we can talk about it.
And now we can talk about it.
Since you have your phone, you can pull up notes.
I can.
Yeah. And I'll just sit here and make fun of you, Gabby, while you do it. Okay.
All right, bicycle.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
I did it for them.
Gabby. Gabby.
Okay.
What's your name?
Bicycle? What? Bicycle? Because
Yeah.
bike is short for bicycle.
So
Bike is short for bicycle.
Bicycle, yeah. I like
Right
it.
there.
I like it.
Oh my God.
I'm okay with it.
You would.
Well, fine, Gabby.
Oh, that's you. Gablet.
I'll call you Gabby.
It's Harry Potter and the Gablet of Fire.
You're going to be looking for a new co-host.
That's great. I got you, Mike.
All right.
I got you
Brian.
back.
Yeah, Brian, shut
It
up,
could be a
Brian,
Two
right
Bros
there.
It could be a Two Bros podcast at
Yeah.
that. You know, we got it.
I like it.
2 bros and a microphone.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
The not bleached bros.
The not bleach bros.
Yeah.
And that's how a podcast is born, ladies.
You don't want to be a bleach bro.
No. We heard that story. Huh? Oh,
Okay.
what'd he say?
Something about Taggy and Maggie.
I'm Maggie.
Okay.
I like that.
You like Maggie?
I do.
You want to be Maggie?
You know.
You're Maggie.
If you know, you know.
If you've ever listened to an episode of
Yeah.
Gray's Tap Room, you'll know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The Gablet of Fire.
Oh, we didn't do a special.
Special
The dogs
dogs.
in Resident Evil. Who's
Okay.
gonna?
Oh,
Who's
Lucy
gonna
and
play them?
Brienne.
Yeah, Lucy and Brienne's gonna play the dogs.
Yeah. Of course.
The best actors of the entire movie.
Our dogs, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another interview here at PopCon Louisville. I am here with the man himself, Ming Chen. You guys know him from AMC's Comic Book Men. And, he's buddies with Kevin Smith, Walt Flanagan. You got Brian and Mike. And so, Ming, I got to ask you, man, how are you enjoying your PopCon Louisville so far? It's their first time doing this here. How do you think about it so far?
I'm having a blast. I'm vying for the title of unofficial mayor of Louisville. And in the last, I guess, two and a half days, been doing pretty well, man. I enjoy your city. I was last year about 7 years ago, so I got to hit all my favorite places that we found last time.
Mm-hmm.
So like Kaiju, Side and Faden's, Shirley May's Cafe. But the main thing I wanted to do besides have fun at the convention and meet people was I really need to hit the Angels Envy Distillery. I love Angels Envy bourbon, and I got to go on Friday morning, and it was everything I thought it would be. It was amazing.
That's good. That's good. So we've been talking about your time here at PopCon Louisville, and what are some things you've kind of noticed about this convention? I know you did the indie show. I believe that was in 2017, right?
Yes.
What are some things you kind of noticed that you've really liked? I know you've walked around here a little bit too. What are some things that kind of highlighted this show for you?
I like the very Kentucky Midwest centric vendors. The guys run the show are top notch.
Okay.
I mean, they've been doing it. We're coming on 10 years of PopCon Indianapolis,
Yeah.
and you go 10 years running a con, you're doing something right because this is not easy.
No.
It's running. Yeah, people are always like, "Hey, Ming, would you ever run a convention?" I'm like, "Absolutely not, man. Too many unknown factors.
Yeah.
A lot of egos."
Yeah. Oh, dude, absolutely. Yeah.
Excuse
No,
me.
no, you're right. It takes a lot, and I'm friends with the people that run the show, and I've talked about wanting to do a convention myself, but yeah, I don't think so, man. I've been covering these for a decade now. I see so much. It's like a lot to deal with.
Yeah,
you know?
it really is. So I'm going to leave it up to the experts. However, even the experts, so many factors go into this, and they've got a really great team here, and I love all of them. So I hope they go 100 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and shift the focus away from the convention for a second. Let's talk about what it is that you do exactly, right? So, of course, you were on the show Comic Book Men, and I have to ask you, I've actually been to the Secret the original location, which I didn't even know that you guys moved. They had moved locations. I was looking at some old videos, and I didn't even know that they moved locations. I like that new setup. It looks great in there.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It was during COVID. Yeah, they had to move it. It's a block south, so it's not.
Yeah, you're still on Broad Street.
Still on Broad Street, still in the same town. What's cool about the new place is Kevin got a whole blank canvas to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So he rebuilt the Quick Stop facade on the back wall.
Yeah.
It legit looks like the Quick Stop is in the back of the secret stash.
Mm-hmm.
What's cool about that is there's a big lit up Quick Stop groceries sign. That was the original sign that was at the Quick Stop when he shot Clerks.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. If you watch Clerks 2, you remember there's a fire at the Quick Stop and the sign got all melted. Mm-hmm. So Kevin made the owners a deal. It's like, hey, I'll buy you a brand new sign since we kind of have to make it look like we burned it up anyways. Yeah. I'll buy you a brand new sign on me if you give me the old one. And of course, like, why wouldn't you take that? And everybody won. He got his piece of history, and they got a new sign. That's cool. But there's an Iron Bob from Jin Saba Reboot bursting out of the wall. The Buddy Christ, the original Buddy Christ from Dogma is there. Yep. Except it's got stained glass now and a pew and a kneeler. So you can pray to that.
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the space is bigger. So while I miss the old store a lot, I'm not going to lie. We had a lot of history there.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of good times.
There.
Shot comic book men there, had all-night poker tournaments there. Yeah. Stan Lee was there, Ben Affleck, everybody. My favorite story about the old store is when after they moved out, they ripped up the carpet and they started selling squares of it. And it came with a little plaque, a caption that said, Giant stood here. Mm-hmm. But the only thing I could think of was like, okay, I brought my dog there once. She peed all over the floor. She got excited to see Mike Zapsik. So you might have a square that my dog peed on. One time we were doing all-night poker tournament. Our friend Gavin, we had this big giant Rice Krispie square. It looked like a doormat side. He's like, hey, how much will you pay me if I eat this whole thing in one sitting? And we're like, I don't know. So we got a thing like, all right, but you can't throw up. You throw up, no money. Yeah. So he's eating and he's doing pretty good. And then he's like, hey, can I drink something while I do this? Oh, no. Well, yeah, sure. Why not? And a logical person with water, he grabbed a Sprite, carbonated, drank it, puked all over the floor. Didn't win, lost all the money. So you might have a square that he puked on. But on the flip side, you probably have a square that Kevin Smith definitely stood on, one that I stood on, one that Stan Lee stood on, Ben Affleck. Yeah. Any number of legends for sure.
One thing I've always wanted to ask you about was, how was filming that show like? I know that it's an actual comic book store, right? So, what was it like having to essentially kind of close it down to produce an episode? What was that whole thing like?
It was fun. It took a little bit of figuring out. So if you watch the very first season, you'll notice there's no one shopping.
Yeah.
There's no one in the store.
It's kind of like it's almost like Pawn Stars, but there's no one in there. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so people are like, "This is a retail store. What, you guys don't have any customers? How are you staying in business?" Of course, we shut down the store where we shot, which bugged Walt Flanagan to no end because he's a man of commerce. He's a businessman.
Oh, he definitely is. Yeah,
and he lives and dies by what that final receipt comes out at the end.
Yes,
even though it's Kevin's money. Like we worked hard to make money for that, guys, because we liked it. We liked Kevin. And we loved working hard to make him money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So second season, they heard the complaints, and the network was like, you need some people back there. I don't care. Like, we're not going to pay for them. Somehow fill the store. So while people were waiting to get in, we were like, hey, do you have an extra 30 minutes? Do you want to be on the show? Can you just come in and look like you're shopping? Okay. And so if you, seasons 2 through 7, there are people back there shopping. I was going to say,
I noticed it. Do you guys miss doing that show? Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I miss it every day, man.
Yeah.
The biggest joke is, I still get made fun mercilessly by Brian Johnson and Walt Flanagan. I don't get a paycheck for it anymore. I do. I get made fun for free again, which sucks. And even Brian came up to me one day. He's like, hey, man, I have it all figured out. I have the best job in the world. I'm like, oh, yeah, what's that? He's like, I get to make fun of you for a living.
Oh, man.
It's not wrong.
Oh,
so,
man.
Yeah, well, at least I got paid too. So that took the sting out of it. Part. But, yeah, I do. Yeah. I do miss it every day, though. And, it was so much fun, man.
Oh yeah, I wish you guys would bring that show back. I mean, have you guys ever had that discussion about figuring out maybe? I know maybe not AMC or maybe make a good Netflix show. Yeah, I know Netflix loves to bring things back, so it'd be kind of.
We talk about it every day. Unfortunately, we do not own the rights, and there's a whole there's all kind of stuff. However, I'm hoping that it will come back so that someone was smart enough to realize that we need to be back on the air.
No,
So
you-
I think it will one day.
Yeah.
I don't know when. I don't know how. Maybe we'll get paid more. Maybe it'll blow up into even bigger. Who knows? But I'm ready, man. I'm ready to come back.
Yeah, I would love to see you guys come back because I know for me, you guys, your show was on, during The Walking Dead. It was like right after. And so like for me, that was like my 2 hour block. Man.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm watching Walking Dead and I'm going to watch you guys. And that was what it was for me. That was what that show was for me. Let's talk comics, right?
Okay.
This is what you know all about, right? So, I know you haven't seen the Michael Keaton, the new Flash movie, which I call a Batman movie with the Flash in it. By the way, that's kind of how I see it.
Like
That's
Batman 1.5
Yeah.
or 1.5 or 33 1/3. I don't.
How do you feel about James Gunn doing the DC universe? I got to know this, man. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm very positive on this. I think James Gunn is a genius, and it's not like he came out of nowhere. He worked with Lloyd Kaufman for Troma movies. He did a lot of low budget stuff, and I think he's a nerd. He reads comics. He loves pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just a hired gun, no pun intended, but he's a guy who knows about fandom, and he's read the
absolutely.
comic books.
Absolutely.
And listen, he took a ragtag group of guys from outer space, from a comic book franchise that nobody knew about. Even hardcore comic book fans
Yeah,
didn't really know who
that
the
was one I
Guardians
forgot
were.
about. Yeah.
Yeah. And he kind of took the original iteration and made it better, and added some characters, and he turned into not just a mainstream property, but one that everybody loves.
Yeah.
Like I've never met anyone who's like, oh yeah, I don't like Guardians. They're great. I think he mixes a great blend of comic books, sci-fi, action, comedy.
Yeah.
The comedy is what I also come for.
Yeah.
And
I need to see Guardians 3. I haven't.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched that movie.
Yeah, and so when I heard he's doing Suicide Squad, I was like, oh, a ragtag bunch of misfits.
Did you watch that? By
Yeah,
the way?
oh yeah, I love this
man.
version much better than the other one they did, and it says a lot
was
when
so good.
like a year passed and they redid it.
Yeah.
Like that said a lot. Yeah, I think he's got a good grasp of like history and how to kind of tie everything together.
Yeah.
So I have high hopes for James Gunn.
I know a lot of people were upset that Henry Cavill is not going to be Superman. Let me ask you, man.
I think they're lying. I think they're
you think they're full of it?
I think they're throwing red herrings.
You think so?
Yeah, I think Henry Cavill is Superman. Right
yeah,
now.
he is. He is.
Yeah.
He is the modern Superman.
Yeah, I think they're probably gonna do like an earlier story, and then they're gonna bring him in at the end. It's like, oh, see, I got you guys, and then they're gonna be for Henry Cavill.
That would be amazing. By the way, I will say if they don't for some weird reason bring Henry Cavill back, is there anybody that you think you'd like to see? I mean, I'd love to see Ming Chen play Superman. Let's get you in there. Let's get you in there.
I mean, Justice League China maybe.
Hey, JLC.
Yeah, which they've done in the comics. So yeah. Or I'd be in the parody version, like the Great Lakes, like the Great Lakes Avengers. I'd be like Squirrel Girl, but yeah. I don't right now. I think Henry Cavill's pretty perfect for that role.
Oh, he's got it.
Yeah,
there shouldn't be anybody else playing.
Yeah, he's got the look, he's got the handsomeness, he's got the build, he's got the right attitude. I think he's a great actor. Yeah. So I think I think he's great. Yeah, I just read like he was supposed to be in the Highlander remake, and he's not doing it anymore.
Man, that would have been so cool to see that.
I think I know Henry Cavill's a McLeod, like the Clan McLeod.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Have you got to watch The Witcher?
Some of it, yeah, it's good. He's great. He's awesome.
Anything that man is in, he's just good. Like and he's a huge nerd. I didn't even know that he was that big of a nerd. He builds his own gaming PCs and stuff.
Yeah, he does it.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, he streams it online, and like all the women like swoon, and we're just like, hey man, what kind of graphics card is that? Like, yeah, it's cool, man.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Well, Ming, thanks so much for the time,
You got
man.
it, man.
I appreciate you so much.
Anytime,
for
every
hanging
time.
out. And
I'll see you in Indy.
We'll be there.
See you in Indy.
You gonna be there too?
We'll be there.
Hey, we'll make it a party. We'll make it a big party. All right, thank you guys. How's it going, everybody? I am with Kevin from Quick Draw Shirts, all the way from Texas, right?
Texas, that's
the
right.
big old state of Texas,
north of Dallas. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So tell everybody about Quick Draw Shirts.
Quick Draw Shirts. We started this company 9 years ago, and started doing screen printing 15 years ago. Because my daughters are older and they want to be artists, we actually started switching gears and doing more Comic-Cons. This year, we started doing Comic-Cons. This is the furthest out east and north that we've ever gone for any show.
Okay.
Here in PopCon Louisville.
Yeah. All right. So tell us how you guys sell a ton of shirts. You got some hats.
Yeah.
You got a buttload of shirts here.
So many shirts.
And they tend to. It seems like they kind of have a sort of a theme to them. Am I correct?
Well, we've got a lot of the biggest theme, overarching theme, is that I'm a cinephile and I love movies. So Tombstone definitely is a bread and butter of our company.
It's a great flick.
But of course, we're getting into more nerd things. So we've got some They Live shirts and some Smokey and the Bandit shirts, and these are shirts that transcend time, because a lot of the classic movies that we reference are timeless.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we're still speaking truth with some of the nerd shirts that we're getting out and whatnot.
Yeah.
I say nerd is a compliment, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right. I mean, because, dude, we're all nerds about something.
Remember when being a nerd was not cool, like at all?
No, I was always cool.
So okay, we met the guy that was always cool. There we go.
I could be the king of the nerds and still be the coolest nerd.
Hey, there we go. There we go. I have found the one cool nerd from back then.
That's
right here.
That's right.
All right. So why this particular business? Like, what was the real inspiration behind all this?
Well, actually, that's a great question. It was a God move, actually. We moved out from California to Texas 18 years ago because.
Oh wow, that's a big difference.
It really is, and it was one of those where God actually moved us to Texas.
Right on.
And so I was like, okay, cool. And then 15 years ago, I lost my job randomly, and I was like, okay, what do you want me to do now? And start your own company. I'm like, that's stupid. I don't have any capital. I don't have any of this. But every day has been a walk, and every day has been a challenge. But at the same time, you look back on the challenges, and my daughters both have a great work ethic. They're amazing artists. And now this is a way for them to not only promote their businesses and their art, but also for me to actually help support them in adulthood.
That's fantastic, man. That's I love to hear. I always like to hear a good, inspiring story.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I love telling an inspired story, but sometimes it works.
So, have you had an opportunity really to kind of walk around here much?
Oh yeah, a few.
Yeah. What are some things you've seen here at PopCon Louisville that you've really kind of enjoyed?
I enjoy all the different varieties. Obviously, you have a lot more artists here, which is really great. There's a better variety. A lot of cons that I've been to.
Yeah, there is.
It's just been all pop figures and some of the really weird stuff. Some of the stuff that I was seeing, I'm like, it's a little on the iffy side as far as whether or not I would have that anywhere near my house. But if somebody wants to buy it, hey, that's capitalism. Buy it.
Yeah, I mean the best part about cons for me, I've been covering cons for over a decade and going to them for even longer than that.
Right.
It's just, it's like the one place you can go to, and everybody kind of gets along.
Oh yeah.
And no matter what's going on outside these walls,
sure,
people here really are able to come together for good things, right? And you don't see, and that's hard, all things considered right now. We won't get into that, but you know what I mean. But like that's what I love about these places, man. Is you can find a nice variety of people.
You get the introverted who normally don't talk to people, and they put on a costume, and now they're a different persona, and they actually get out and socialize, which is really great. We've got some kids, some dads, some all sorts of different everything here at the cons, which is great. And the other thing is, some people will cosplay things that are so random, and if it's like a movie reference, like I was at Comic Palooza a couple weeks back, and there was a couple that walked by, and I said, "Oh my gosh, you guys are Natural Born Killers from the movie," and they're like, "Oh my god, yes, you got it. That's so great." And when it clicks, and you get that one cosplay that's so random, the joy that they have in their heart, it's awesome.
That's great. Yeah, that's the thing too. Like there's two reasons why I like going to conventions. It's more specifically for what I do. Is I like to check out the events. I'm a big event person. Right. What does this? Celebrities is like, that's kind of easy, right? Having celebrities is kind of a good easy draw.
I've heard stories.
It's about well, that's not what that. We ain't gonna get into that right now, but no, but it's the events for me,
right?
But it's also meeting vendors like you, and that's what I come here for. Really, is that because I know a lot of times you guys aren't the focus, and I think that's kind of wrong. I know a lot of people like to go talk to celebrities. You'll find that I don't really do that a whole lot.
Right.
Maybe one or two. But outside of that, you guys are the ones here that aren't really as known, right? And you guys are really fighting for that notoriety. You're here to obviously make money, but like, you know, and networking too is a big part of that also. Yeah.
The biggest thing for vendors is that we are not associated with the promoters.
Right.
But we're also the biggest representation of the show. So a lot of people that walk up and down and they see a gruff vendor or somebody who's rude or uncourteous, it reflects negatively to the promoter. And, you know, sometimes if you're an active promoter, you actually, you know, will take note of certain things and get feedback from various people saying, hey, if there's a vendor you like, which one did you like? If there's a vendor that ticked you off, let us know. You know, and that way you have kind of a do and a don't list. But I mean, we're really the front lines of most of the people that come through the cons.
Yeah.
As opposed to the celebrities who have their handlers, and then you have the gatekeepers, and then you have
they're kind of moved around.
Right.
Yeah.
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 You know, the celebrities are.
You guys are in the trenches. That's what I like to call it.
Yeah, the celebrities
You're in
are the eye candy. We're just, we're basically something interesting for somebody in between the celebrities to come see.
Yeah,
Many times.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like when I go to these shows, like I said, I'm always looking for the most unique vendors as possible, and I've found quite a few in my time doing this.
Right.
And I also like to hear you guys' feedback too, because I think feedback is important. And what I like about PopCon, being as this has been a homegrown show that started about 10 years ago in Indianapolis, the guys that run the show, man, they take that feedback. Like they are very open to feedback. So if you're watching this and you've never been to PopCon, go to a PopCon. Right? Go to PopCon. Say go to PopCon. Go to PopCon. They have a panel every week, every Sunday, the last day of the show. They're going to have one today. Okay. It's their feedback panel. Right? So if you like throwing stones at the owners of the show, you can do that and line up.
I'm really good at it.
Yeah. And but I go to so many shows.
Yeah.
I mean, I've probably done like over 30. Jeez. I've never found a show yet that has that kind of panel. So that has to tell you something about this show is, and I have been critical of this show. That's just what I have to do. And these are people I consider friends. So you know, but at least they're open and they're honest. And I actually just had a really good conversation with one of the owners today about some things.
Good.
And I encourage those of you that, you know, if you ever come to PopCon and you have a lot to say about the show, please go to that panel. That is your time to really be able to go right in front of them and give them the feedback that they definitely need it.
Right.
Because I don't, you know, Wizard World, the big corporate shows will never get that opportunity to do that.
No, not at all.
No. But well, thanks, Kevin, for the time, man. I appreciate you. Where can they go to find you online? Let people know.
That's great. We have an online store. QuickDrawShirts.store is our online clothing company. You can also see us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm actually more popular than my daughters, which is super great.
Yo, that's great.
So far, so good. Without even shaking my butt or showing cleavage.
Hey, that's a big thing, man.
I know. I can't dance, so it's, you know, I got to use what I got.
No, you can. You just don't want no one to know. Yeah. Don't want to see.
Yeah. That's why we have the little sticky things on the shower. But we also have a schedule of events as far as where we're going to be.
Yeah, where are you going to be at next?
Oh, gosh, darn it. The next time, we're actually at a full auto shoot next week. We're shooting machine guns in Wyandotte, Oklahoma.
Yo, that sounds like a whole lot of fun.
Right. So we get to sell shirts and shoot guns, which is super cool. Especially, you know, this is in Kentucky. They had Knob Creek full auto shoot here.
Okay.
And it's gone. They don't do it anymore. So this is literally the only full auto shoot.
I want to shoot a machine gun. That sounds awesome.
1,000 miles. So yeah, it's pretty dope.
Right on.
And we're going into state fair season. So we'll be in West Idaho State Fair.
There you go.
Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and Little Rock for all their state fairs coming up.
All right. Well, there you go, guys. You guys can stalk Kevin at the next couple shows here, and you can pay to do that too if you trade your money for his items that he has here. And I'm sure he won't mind if you follow him around as long as you're giving him money. But thanks, Kevin, for taking the time, man. I appreciate it very, very much. And I'll have all of Kevin's links in the description below this video, so you guys can go and purchase his stuff. And we'll see you guys. Take it easy.
Heck yeah.
I'm Irish, and that's not it's not Colm. That is not the way you say it. I told them this. A bunch of British guys said, well, you know, I think they're American, you know, they get everything wrong. Like, you know, no, they know how to pronounce it. He knows how to pronounce his own name. It's Colm O'Driscoll, just so you know. Oh man, there's more people who played Red Dead than there are people in Ireland. So more people are mispronouncing that name now than are pronouncing it correctly, and it's all Rockstar Games' fault. I told them and they didn't listen to me. So I'm throwing them under the bus every chance I get. They're a wonderful company to work for, but it's called them, you know, Driscoll, right?
Next question. In the red. We'll do both of you. You first. Go ahead.
It's a little bit of a spoiler, but after
Spoilers.
Kiri's death, if you're writing a bayou with Arthur, doesn't he like work back because he's scared of the night cold?
I've heard that. Yeah, I believe that's true. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I didn't notice it until I saw it on social media. But yeah, I believe that's right. Yeah, especially once the O'Driscolls stormed that particular base. What was it called? Shady Bell, right?
Shady Bell.
Yes. Once they storm Shady Bell, Arthur gets a little more nervous in the bayou. Yeah, definitely.
Right up front.
So I have a question. So maybe spoilers, but you know when you're on the cliff and you're dying, right? Do you know what Dutch or how you felt, or what was your emotions like?
When we did the scene. Well, you know, it was a 5-year contract, an amazing contract, and I knew very early on what Arthur's fate was going to be, but I didn't know the specific details. I mean, we had a very basic outline of what the story was going to be, but the writers didn't restrict themselves by writing the whole thing out before we started. You know, it was smart too, because they waited a while to see what strengths and weaknesses certain performers had, and then they would let that reflect their writing. So although we kind of had a basic skeletal view of what the story was going to be, we didn't get the pages for it until about a week or two before. And we didn't do Arthur's deaths until about almost towards, like, it was about 4.5 years in. So for 4.5 years, I'm like, oh, what's my death scene going to be like? Then I find out there's going to be 4 death scenes. But that's another story. But to answer your question, I was very nervous. I wanted to get it right. And when we finally did it, you know, it was very nerve-wracking for me. Because here I was saying goodbye to a character that I'd been working on for almost 5 years. So it was pretty intense, it's pretty serious. And I know for a fact, Ben was very, very upset, the guy who plays Dutch. Benjamin Byron Davis, he had tears in his eyes, didn't he? Yeah, and he was bawling away as he was walking away. But yeah, that was a pretty intense day, and it was the high honor helping John was the first of the 4 death scenes that I did, which I think is probably the best one, maybe the best canon one anyway. But the other 3 after that were a little easier, but that was the first one, and it was hard. Yeah.
Who else has questions? Right here in front.
What's going on, everybody? We're once again with another guest here at PopCon Louisville. I got Rob Wiethoff from Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. Rob, how's it going, man?
Man, so cool. I'm so glad to have been able to come to this show in Louisville. First show that you've had in Louisville.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's been really awesome. And PopCon is just, I've said this before, but I've met people at different shows that talk about how much they enjoy PopCon.
Yeah.
Because it's run so well, and the crowd is amazing, and it's really a good time, man. So thank you.
I know too. It's also kind of close to home too for you. I know you're in Indiana, which is kind of cool.
Oh man.
And that's awesome. I never really even knew that when I played the games. That's pretty dope. That's who's real is in the game. That's kind of sick.
Yeah,
so about the games, man. What's this been like for you, man? What with you've been in the first game and the second game, and what have been some of the most unique fan interactions you've had with people?
Oh man, so the game, right? It's pretty intense. For
It
the most
is,
part, right?
Does it surprise you when you see little kids that are playing this
Yeah,
game?
a little bit.
Yeah. Because Rockstar Games, they know for like some more older people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever. I guess their parents are enjoying it with them, whatever. And
For sure.
I'm not a parent critiquer or whatever. Anyway,
Right.
we
Yeah.
all do our best, whatever.
Yeah.
But, I guess because the game is so intense, I hear a lot of people talking about this scene was awesome, and doing this, I was so pumped up. But
Yeah.
a lot of times too, people talk about how funny the game was because there is a lot of comedy in it, and so
There really is a lot of comedy.
Really, I mean, there is. So, the whole "you eat babies" and
Yeah. I remember that. That was
my
hilarious.
goodness.
I bet you guys had a real hard time filming those scenes too, because I know you guys do all the motion capture.
Oh, yeah.
Which I personally, for me, I love the games where they have you guys do the motion capture too.
Yeah.
And you're not just in a booth, like
Right,
you know what I mean? Because it gives you guys the ability to really shape your character, right? Because
Yeah.
you embody that person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So for me, like, what were some scenes that were just so hilarious to you that you had to do like so many retakes? Like you had to spend so much time trying to get through it.
Goodness. Well, I mean, so I guess it's a combination of things, right? So
Yeah.
because we are doing performance capture and you have this suit on, and
Yeah.
most of the time, my avatar was John. Sometimes, if they needed someone
You had to fill in.
like in Undead Nightmare, I was a zombie, and I had to pretend to be a zombie that wasn't John, who was chasing John. And
That's weird, right? Yeah.
It was weird.
You play two characters chasing each other. That's kind of odd.
And I'm,
Yeah.
apparently I'm the worst zombie they've ever cast, right? And so, Rockstar, they're such fun, cool people.
Yeah, man.
We had so much just fun making fun of each other, really,
Of course.
but in the best way possible, right?
Yeah.
But, so I was a zombie in Undead Nightmare. I was one of the night folk. Wolf
Yeah, you mentioned that in the
creatures,
panel.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I was,
Yeah.
so those things were very, very fun. And,
Yeah.
but there were also, because we worked on Red Dead 2 for as long as we did.
Yeah, a long time.
A big group of people the Vanderland gang, right?
Yeah.
We all really got to know each other over that
For sure.
4 or 5 year stretch.
Yeah.
And we could only share the information with each other. We really became a tight knit group, and honestly, a lot of the characters are like Micah Bell, for instance, right?
Oh, that guy's a trip, man. Oh.
Easiest character to hate, but I
Yeah.
want to tell you that Peter Blomquist is one of the funniest, coolest guys you can
Isn't that
meet.
usually how it works? Like the people that are the bad guys seem to be the coolest people. You know what I'm saying? That's so weird. Yeah.
Talented.
What about for you was the I'd have to say, man, like with having such an ensemble cast.
Yeah.
I know working with Roger was different. What was that like for you though? You were in both games.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What was it like walking back into that world that you hadn't been a part of for so many years? Was it kind of like just going right back home again for you?
It was really, really cool. I didn't expect it, because I know what happened to my character in Red Dead Redemption.
Right, yeah.
Spoiler alert. I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah,
however old it-
yeah.
But I walked into the building, and I saw so many familiar faces from
Of course.
Rockstar, and also some familiar faces as characters. Benjamin Byron Davis, Steve Palmer.
He's awesome. I've talked with him before. I love
Great.
dude. That guy's
Yeah.
a great guy.
Just
Yeah.
great, man.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it was amazing, and I enjoyed the whole process. Again, I'm so fortunate, man,
Oh,
to
yeah.
have been able to give him to
Yeah.
live out this opportunity.
Yeah.
that was provided. To
Right.
me. I just really appreciate it.
Was it different? I'll ask you one more question real quick because you got all kinds of people waiting in line for you here. What was it like to kind of not be the central focus of this time around? Like you had to take a little bit of a back seat because this one, the second one was more about Arthur.
Absolutely.
Right. So how was that like? Because the first game, it's you, man. Like you're the central figure in that game. What was that like for you to kind of take a little bit of a step back and let someone else kind of take over for a while?
Man, it was amazing. Honestly.
Yeah.
And I learned
Different
so
perspectives.
much. I learned so much about how to do the job from Roger.
Really?
I
Yeah.
had already had my chance to do it, but I learned so much from watching Roger do it. It was like he had done it, already for 20 years. And
Yeah.
it was amazing. And so
Yeah,
I remember the first day that I got to work a full day with Roger.
Uh-huh.
And we did a couple scenes together, but I also saw him doing other scenes that I wasn't in.
Yeah.
I called my wife and said, I'm so excited about this game because it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Because I got to see Roger doing his thing, so
That's great, man.
it was awesome. And
Wow.
to be a playable character is great, but to also be in the position where I was in, to be educated and entertained, and it was amazing. So
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna take up any more of your time, Rob. But thanks so much for taking some time, and I hope you guys got to come out to meet Rob. You got a little bit of people here waiting still on Sunday today, and if you have not played these games, go play these games, man. They're so good. We hope that we get to have you guys come back later for we need a third game somehow. I don't know how that's gonna work, but thanks so much, Rob, and safe travels to you, man.
Hey, thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
Really
Appreciate it.
glad to be here.
Thank you. All right, guys. I'm with another amazing guest here at PopCon Louisville. We got Roger Clark.
Hi.
You know him as Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2. How you doing, Roger?
I'm well, man. It's been a fantastic weekend. Just putting an end to it now, wrapping up. But wow, what a splendid thing. It's been Happy Father's Day. Got to see lots of happy fathers around here today with their kids. And getting to meet the fans who appreciated all of our work. What more could you ask for?
So what I love about you, Roger, is, man, you're a gamer. That's what's great, man. You played the games. I don't know how I would feel being a fan of the first game and then walking onto like basically the set of the second game.
It was a little daunting. I especially remember having the first time I worked with Rob, the OG, John Marston, and I had to talk trash to him for a couple of days, and it didn't feel right at all. But I had a job to do. So,
what was it like meeting him as a fan? Was it hard not to fan out meeting him because knowing you're going to work with him?
At the beginning, it was, but then we got to know each other pretty well, and we've been the closest friends now for a decade. He's the OG. I wouldn't be here without him, and he is genuinely one of the best guys I know.
That's great, man. So, real quick, man, you already knew going in what had happened, right, in the first game. How surprised were you with the events in the second game, man? This is a prequel.
Yeah.
So, what was that like, learning the backstory of what and being in the backstory of what you had just already finished?
It was pretty mind-blowing. I mean, when we started Red Dead 2 and we started working on it, we had a basic outline of what the story was going to be, but smartly, the writers didn't really box themselves in too early on. They left it pretty vague. Just waited to see what strengths and weaknesses certain characters and actors brought to the table. So we didn't really fill in the fine details until, as we progressed and started working on it, which took 5 years.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, some of the details that they filled in was just mind-blowing. The writers, Dan Houser was the main writer, accompanied by Michael Unsworth and Rupert Humphreys. Those were the three main ones. And what they did was absolutely mind-blowing, and we got to work with them in tandem for a bit, and it felt like we were really working together.
Yeah.
And we were playing to each other's strengths.
Yeah.
And we were a big, massive team, and I was proud to be a part of it.
And that was your first big video game you worked on, right?
The first... it's hard.
Big production. Right?
Yeah, I'd done video games before, and I'd done mocap on some as well, but it's hard to get bigger.
It's a Rockstar game, though, man.
It's hard to get bigger than Red Dead.
Yeah. I gotta know, man. Voice acting is one thing because you're in a box. That's it. But how much harder is that to do motion capture, man? Because I have mad respect for those of you that literally are doing all the stuff in the game.
They're two completely separate mediums, but one's just as hard, or just as challenging and rewarding as the other, I love voice acting. Most of Red Dead wasn't voice acting. Most of AAA titles nowadays isn't voice acting anymore.
Yeah.
It's mocap, but, the two do go hand in hand. Voice acting is not going to go anywhere, but one of the challenges about voice acting is you don't have an extra tool to express the character. You don't have your body. You just have a script and your voice. And that can be tricky sometimes.
Yeah.
That's why I was so thrilled that we did a lot of mocap for Red Dead, because by the time I was in the booth doing what little voice acting in Red Dead there was, I already knew who the character was, because he had already inhabited my body. We were walking around, walking the talk for 5 years, and then we would go into the booth every now and then. Two completely different skills, one equally as important as the other, just two different ways to skin a cat.
That's a great way to put it. I like the way you put that. What's it like for you when you go to these cons and you get to meet the people and they cosplay as you? I mean, isn't that wild? Like seeing these, it's a broad range too. I was telling Rob, what's it like seeing these young kids playing this kind of video game and coming up and meeting you?
Well, I mean, if they're too young, it's a little disconcerting.
Right.
To be honest, though, as an actor, all you really want is to have your work appreciated by an audience.
Oh yeah.
And when you have an audience as big as the folk who enjoy Red Dead, it's the wildest dream ever come true. It really is. I'm blessed.
One last question for you, Roger. If you had to give a piece of advice to people who want to get into motion capture and voice acting work, what would that have to be?
Work begets work, and I really feel, for myself, the best way to learn acting is to go on stage. I think theater is where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
The audience is right there. They'll teach you. They'll teach you timing. They'll teach you what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because they either clap or they don't clap.
Oh yeah, I know you have lots of experience in drama, so I bet that was a big help for you to do the motion capture.
You can take those skills that and transfer them to any medium: film, TV, radio, voice acting, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful for my beginning in theater. It's made me the actor I am today.
Well, Roger, thank you so much for your time, man. Best of luck to you in your future endeavors and things you're working on, and I can't wait to see what you got coming up. Hopefully, we get another Red Dead game as well.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be a
I hope,
game.
yeah.
This one's coming out end of August. Me and Troy Baker in space.
Oh,
everyone.
that's right. Yeah, you're doing that. That looked good. We saw that at Summer Game Fest.
We'll be
Yeah.
on the PC and PS5.
Oh, we're looking forward to it. Well, Roger, safe travels to you as well.
Thank you.
And if you have the opportunity, come and see this guy at a convention near you. All right.
I'll catch you later.
All right, guys. The teardown is finally happening. People are leaving. It's it's Sunday, last day of the show. People are packing up and just taking off. Some are trying to stick around as long as they can, of course. But it's time to say goodbye, right? This is the end of the show, and I've enjoyed myself thoroughly here this weekend so far, and I hope you guys have had a good one as well. I hope you guys enjoyed all of the celebrity guest interviews with Rob, with Ming, with Roger, and I hope you also enjoyed checking out some of the panels, seeing a couple of the podcasts as well. Oh, speaking of podcasts, there's these guys again too. Look at these guys over here, the established facts. You guys stop by real quick. Did you guys have a good weekend? That's good. That's good. Guy, I hope you saw that in my new video, you guys got that clip. We got that clip. So there you go. Yeah. My weekend was great, man. Yeah, interviewed Dante Basco, interviewed Rob and Roger, and had a good one. Got a lot of good footage. So yeah. It was great, man. Everything I hoped it would be. I don't fanboy out much. But man, that's when you meet Rufio, come on, how do you not, right? Like, yeah, so. But guys, go check them out. Go check them out, theestablishedfacts.com. That's it. Go watch their podcast. They have that, and they have The Stable, too, which I'm definitely going to make sure to try to listen to more of. I'm a big pro wrestling fan. Did you happen to see CM Punk's return last night?
I heard a little bit of his promo.
Yeah?
I have not gotten a chance to really catch up.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil that for you. So
Yeah, he watched it last night.
It's he throws some shade. He throws some shade because you knew it was gonna happen. But we'll see you guys. You guys will be at Indy too.
That's right.
I'm sure we'll all be doing our podcast there too.
August.
It's like August 24th or something like. It's like I think it's like almost the last weekend of August.
I think there's
Something like that.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll see you guys there.
Yeah, come and see us.
We'll all be there because we're just a whore for podcasting. That's what we do. We love talking about our favorite things. And The Established Facts is a great show too if you guys like gaming, because they're all nerds. We're all nerds at heart. That's why we're here. So we'll see you, Don.
We'll be officially celebrating our 12th anniversary.
Oh, 12! Dang, that's awesome, man. That's crazy. You guys have been around that long.
I know, and nobody listens to it.
Hey, as long as it's something that you enjoy.
That's right.
That's what matters, right?
That's it.
Well, we'll see you guys. Safe travels to you guys, okay? We'll see you guys in Indy. Bye, guys. All right. So definitely, which one?
Pedro Pascal.
The Pedro Pascal. Oh, that's a really good-looking Pedro Pascal. That's from the him and Nicolas Cage. Yeah, I have not seen that movie yet. That is gorgeous, man. I like that drawing. That's very, very good.
Yeah,
that's very, very good.
It looks like a still shot. That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right there too.
That is amazing.
These are really great. Yeah, show the camera. Yeah, show them. This is Josh Downs art. You can hold it up like this. There we go.
This stuff is made. That one there you're looking at is hers.
And there's a QR code. And they're on Instagram at Josh Downs Art.
Okay, this is hers.
So there you go.
She's the one that did the Pedro Pascal.
Oh, very nice. Oh, it's Robert Downey Jr. And there's all of her social media. I'll tell you guys a really funny story. It makes me really mad. So we're from Indianapolis, and I used to live in an area called Castleton. There's a mall there. So they have a thing called Sundance Film Festival, which we've covered before. I did not know this at the time, but you remember Robert Downey Jr. had a movie called The Judge that came out, right? Remember that? It kind of didn't really do too well, but they did a premiere at the theater literally right across the street from where I lived, and I had no idea that Robert Downey Jr. was there, and I had an opportunity to meet Iron Man, and I was so mad. Yeah.
Like they didn't promote it on signs on the theater?
No. No. They didn't want the public to know, because then like everybody would rush to go to the theater and try to meet him, and he didn't want that. So I was pretty sad about that one. Yeah. Did you guys have a good weekend here so far? Good. That's good. Have you guys been to PopCon ever before?
I've attended the Indies.
I thought you looked familiar. Yeah.
Just walking around, but we had not gotten the booth.
Yeah.
But this is home territory, so that's where we're from.
Hey, there you go.
And then this is the first one here.
Yeah.
And we might actually get up to Indy eventually. Probably not this year, but next year.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, there you go. Well, I'm glad that you guys came out here. I'll put you guys in our YouTube video tonight, because we're doing a daily video vlog of every day that we've been here. So you guys can go watch, and this is for those of you listening or watching. You guys can watch our previous 2 videos, and I'll give you my card so you guys can watch. See yourselves on this video. So yeah, there you go. All right. Yeah. All right, so that is going to do it for our entire weekend coverage. You seem a little exhausted. It
was a whirlwind. It was nice.
Of PopCon Louisville. And I hope that you guys enjoyed every single one of these videos. And please be sure to watch each one. Each one has some very unique content to it pertaining to each day. I hope you guys enjoyed all the interviews, learning about all these vendors, and everything else that you can do here at PopCon Louisville. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought of PopCon Louisville while you were here. And I hope they come back next year.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be great.
It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun, and it was great to kind of see some old friends and see some new friends all under one roof. That was great.
Yeah.
And but we're not done with PopCon this year.
Not at all.
Because we're going to be in Indy in August, the end of August, for PopCon Indy's 10th anniversary show. I can't believe that. So we'll see you guys there in Indy. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.